You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
Igo by Toyota sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
Marlene.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.
This is Your Welcome America, the podcast that explains what the bloody hell Brits are banging on about.
In every episode, we translate British pop culture for America.
And American pop culture for Britain.
You're welcome. I am Ben.
I'm Fraser.
Fraser like razor.
And we're back again.
But before we start, I'll get a prop out straight away that will explain the last couple of weeks of my life anyway.
She's got props. Prop queen. Ben has pulled out a packet of Boots pocket tissues.
Balsam.
Oh, balsam. Oh, perfect for on the go. 10 4-ply tissues.
I have been
made in Slovenia.
Oh, I have been sick. I've also graduated from. For some reason, I had a whole bunch of these pocket tissues by Kath Kidson.
Have a day off.
Kath Kidson.
For crying out loud, have a day off.
Oh,
very strange.
Oh, Kath Kidson is she's someone we need. She's someone we need to delve into one day.
Hi, Kath.
Kath Kidson.
Yeah.
Where did you get them from?
No clue. I found them in my house and I was like, what? But there are multiple packets. Very strange.
So, yeah, we've been gone for quite some time.
And then that was extended
Yes.
because I still am sick.
We've had, Ben went on multiple travels. He went on kind of a 4-month, you went on like a world tour, basically.
Well, let's just say my Delta Sky Miles account is looking bumper and she's on track to be gold again next year, everyone.
Have a day off.
Delta Sky Miles account.
For crying out loud, have a day off.
Great. And yeah, so Ben's been off around the world and then came back and immediately, in no surprise, became incredibly unwell and has been MIA for like 2 weeks. I haven't seen you.
Yeah, I haven't had taste for a week and a half. Is that right?
When did he ever? Am I right?
I can barely smell. I do not have COVID. I've tested twice, but whatever. Now, how did I get myself into this pickle, you may ask? I did a half marathon.
Have a day off.
Am I ever going to do a half marathon again? No. It's just really long. I know CLC will be listening, and she loves a run.
Yeah, she did the London Marathon.
Yeah. So I did that, and then I went to Scotland. Was there for a week. Family, friends, a 40th, not mine.
You went to a 40th birthday that was essentially a wedding.
Absolutely. Everyone kept saying, "Oh, what was that wedding you were at?" And I was like, "Well, yep, it was pretty big."
Yeah, you sent me a great video of your friend Amy singing a live version of Fight for This Love with a live band.
Oh yes, I was at the bar during this birthday party, and I was like, "What? Why? What's going on?" And yeah, the birthday girl had just got up with the band and was doing "Fight for This Love." Sure,
a song that you don't associate with instruments,
or anyone ever singing it live, including Cheryl.
Yeah. I was shocked by hearing kind of an instrumental band version of Fight for This Love was quite jarring.
Yeah, quite something.
There's so many bleeps and bloops in that song that you can't recreate with an instrument.
Yeah, there's no like... Yeah, so Scotland was a lot. And then I came back. It was my birthday. And then went on a birthday trip to Mexico, which I will be talking about.
We'll delve into that adventure.
Yeah, that Mexicoma. So that's been my life. What's been going on with you?
Oh, I mean, it's been non-stop since you've been gone. No, it's been pretty sedate. I had one of the weirdest things happen to me yesterday. So Teddy and I went to Sarah and Danny's because we decided in a drunken stupor like a few weeks ago, or maybe even a month ago, we all got whipped into a frenzy. We were at a 50th birthday of one of their friends. We got really whipped into a frenzy about the Amanda Bynes film, She's the Man.
Yeah.
And then
out of nowhere, I got like a Google invite to an Amanda Bynes. I'm like, what is going on?
An Amanda Bynes like double bill. And it basically became a thing. We did it last night. We did She's the Man. And then we watched Easy A, which she's in, but not the star of.
She's like a villain in
Yeah,
Easy
she's
A.
the Christian villain in it.
I've never seen She's the Man.
It was very odd. I will tell you that the oddest thing about it is that it's so obviously filmed in Canada and passing itself off as America that it's unbelievable. Especially the beginning, they're trying to look like they're on a beach, but they're clearly in like a dirt like parking lot. Like you can't ever see a body of water. It's like brown sand. It's dirt. So yeah, we did that. But the craziest thing happened to me when I arrived. I went to put a bottle of wine into Sarah and Danny's fridge onto the top shelf, and the angle of the bottle, I lightly, like almost tapped the top shelf, and it shattered into a million pieces.
It was a top shelf glass.
The entire glass top shelf of their fridge shattered into a million pieces and like went all over the floor. Like their entire fridge was filled with glass. And I literally went like, it was like that level of like, it was so weird.
Strange.
Very strange. So yeah, so we spent the first kind of hour of the double bill movie screening was
hands and knees.
Like three of us like scooping glass out of a fridge, and then yeah.
Was it that kind of shatter though, where it's like not splinters,
like a windscreen?
Yes.
Like a windshield. Yes, it was safety glass, but it was a very jarring start to an evening. Yeah, so that was my evening. I had a very strange day as well. I was planning on maybe watching Eurovision, and I was gonna like see if anyone wanted to watch it with me, and then all of a sudden I realized it had already started, so I sat alone and watched the entire Eurovision Song Contest.
What the hell just...
The United Kingdom, 0 points.
I will say, quite a bleak viewing experience for one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I did a full 180 on the UK entry.
What the hell just...
0 points.
I have been very negative about that song and that group. And then I felt like, do you know what? Good on you, girls. They seemed really nice.
Well done, girls. You did your best.
They seemed really happy and really earnest, and like they were having a really good time. So I changed my mind and decided that they were okay.
0 points.
And I felt really bad for them because they got 0 points from the public vote. They did pretty well in the countries. They were about halfway down. They didn't embarrass themselves.
Yeah.
And then when it got to the public vote, they got 0.
What place did they come in the end?
Like they ended up getting bumped down quite far. One of my favorite entries was Poland, because they did this kind of Game of Thrones attempt, and then their big stunt was that the singer got like held onto these kind of two things, like she was about to do some like silks work, and she got lifted up, and you thought that something was going to happen, and a CGI dragon like flew behind her, but she just was hanging there. It was so limp. She was just like hanging, and then they just lowered her back down again, and she carried on singing.
CGI dragon.
Yeah, it was bad. And then there was, I would say that most of the kind of divas got snubbed. There was the kind of
the Chanel Toreros.
The ladies in catsuits and kind of trapeze artist outfits. There was a few of them, and none of them got the respect that they deserved.
What the hell just...
Have a day off.
The United Kingdom.
For crying out loud, have a day off.
I do have something else that I've been up to. I've got another prop.
Stunt queen today. Ben's proceeding to... He's pulled out a notebook.
It's actually my journal.
And you're about to read me an entry from your journal. What is happening?
Saturday, April 12th. So I went to see a psychic.
If you're here, just tap the fucking table.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I've highlighted some of the biggest things. Now they said for this year, for me, it feels like a resurgence. Don't know what that means. They also said that this is a year of leisure for me. Wasn't happy about that.
Did they pronounce it leisure?
Oh God, I can't remember.
Leisure is very American.
Yeah. They also said that I am gonna meet a man, but it's gonna come in the back door. That's a slur. She also said that just in general, I'm on the right path. That was the final thing that she said.
So what? I'm still a rock star.
0 points.
Wow, it sounds like she really tapped into the cosmos for that one.
Yeah, some real. She did say at one point as well. She's like, now there are a few things coming up in the next few months that are unexpected.
Fun.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
She really covered herself. She covered all her bases there.
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen to you.
And then the classic psychic thing should say, Joseph. That's a name for the future.
Who could that be? Joe Swash? Trying to think of Joes. Well, we do know a couple of Joes, don't we?
We do. Ooh, a couple. I only know one Joe. Who's your other Joe? O'Meara?
Yeah.
Joseph O'Meara.
Yeah, Joseph O'Meara, our friend Joe.
Joseph from the Bible.
Yep.
Maybe
Joe and the Juice.
Maybe I'll meet someone who's in a touring production of Joseph.
Yeah. At Joe and the Juice.
At Joe and the Juice.
You're always there.
And they're having a juice with our other friend Joe.
Yeah.
And they're playing Joe O'Meara.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's a fan of JoJo. And JoJo Siwa, she owns Joe and the Juice.
Jojo and the Juice.
JoJo and the Juice.
We need to address a fair amount of feedback. Because
Oh, yeah?
We've been gone for quite some time.
Let's do it.
0 points.
Okay, so we've had some feedback from Prosecco Pundit. There's actually some dribs and drabs of feedback from him.
Yeah.
First of all, he said that the US equivalent of Annie Lennox has to be Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Definable look, signature voice, in a band and also a solo career, multiple husbands.
We got a lot of people saying Stevie Nicks should have been there.
For Annie Lennox?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And they're not wrong. I like that. Prosecco Pundit, UK topic. He's suggesting Chesney Hawkes. No, we're not going to do that.
That's because Chesney Hawkes was in Celebrity Big Brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he came to my university once. That's something about Chesney Hawkes that I can tell you.
Would love to see his financial books.
Yeah, I think he strikes me as someone who's really putting those pennies and pounds into property.
Premium bonds?
I think he's got a lot of premium bonds and
property.
Yeah, premium bonds and property.
Good for him.
The Chesney Hawkes
Maybe
story.
he's got some rental investments.
In Spain.
And then Prosecco Pundit also said, "Oh my God, haven't listened, but Phoenix, so excited." Oh, how did you feel about that?
Sorry.
Also, I'm fascinated by a British person getting interested in Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, do you know what it is? It's one of those places you hear about it more than you know anything about it. As in, like, it gets referenced in things, and like,
Does it?
Yeah, and like Raising Arizona, like, you know what I mean? Like,
What's Raising
it's
Arizona?
a film, it's a movie, and like it. I think people you hear it as someone, especially if you're like a bit of an Americophile, you kind of hear about it, but you don't know what it is. But we can tell you it's nothing.
0 points.
I mean, it is. It's the most generic place I've ever been.
Yeah. Here's the thing with Arizona. I'll say it again. Just go to Tucson. Far more interesting.
Piers
Brosnahan.
Piers Broderick, who I always call Piers Brosnan by accident, got in touch and let us know that Una is, his message is, Una's dropped her acoustic guitar and picked up a saxophone. The City of Derry Jazz Festival. Una Healy and Luke Thomas and the Swing Cats present Fly Me to the Moon, a celebration of the Great American Songbook. And it's Una and this gentleman, I think, who are going to be singing, like, Fly Me to the Moon.
Wow.
Like, what a bizarre evening for her. A lot of male vocals that I don't want Una doing in the
Yeah.
Great American Songbook, you know?
And yeah, and to Pierce's point, that acoustic guitar has no place in this performance. So Colleen Mabin, who's in Vancouver,
Yeah.
she said, "Oh my God, you're going to be so roasted. Alanis is Canadian."
Yeah.
What were we saying?
You said the American equivalent of, US equivalent of Annie Lennox was Alanis Morissette.
Did I?
Yeah.
And I knew she was Canadian. Sorry, Colleen. She is, I don't know what any of this means, inspiration behind Robin Sparkles on
How I Met Your Mother.
what? Played by Colby Smulders. Who? And also former fiance of Ryan Reynolds, also Canadian, but she may have been happy to let that one go. Elbows Up. What is Elbows Up? Is that a Canadian thing?
I guess.
Oh, wait a minute. Elbows Up. Isn't that a thing when the current accidental president was saying, like, making
Oh, okay.
Canada another American state?
Right.
Everyone was like, elbows up.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Let me Google it. Elbows Up has become a rallying cry, particularly in Canada, during a time of trade tension with the United States, likely referring to the Canadian actor Mike Myers' elbows up gesture during his appearance on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, it's when he's Elon Musk. Trade
Yeah.
tension.
Yeah.
Hoonda bip bip bip.
Also, whenever I think of like trade tension or trade wars, where does your mind go?
Like trade, like the sexual term of trade.
Oh
right?
no, I go to like trade wars within the Galactic Senate and Star
Right,
Wars.
right. Oh no, I was thinking of like, it's like, yeah, it's a war between like sexy men. The trade wars.
Trade wars.
So we also heard from podcast nemesis Michael.
Have a day off.
Michael.
For crying out loud, have a day off.
She had this to say. I had no idea Diane Warren wrote Too Lost in You. I love that. Also very happy to hear you discuss There You'll Be. Furious that you didn't mention I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. We did mention I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, that Diane Warren wrote it, but we said it was too... I think we were just like, we dismissed that song as like too straight. And then he follows up with, Ben is insane for not knowing Trisha Yearwood. She's married to Garth Brooks.
Trisha Yearwood. I don't even remember us talking about her, who she is. When someone says Garth Brooks to me, that doesn't unlock anything. I'm like, oh, I know that name. They're a singer. What did they sing?
I know, to be honest, I know more because there was that porn star in the 2000s who was called Garth Brooks.
Oh my God, touch me right there.
Oh, that's good.
I just don't think Garth Brooks ever really popped in the UK, did he? Or are we? Because I know that Achy Breaky Heart was... I know that the Billy Ray Cyrus song came to the UK, didn't it? Because I remember hearing that when I was younger.
Yes, but I do think in the 90s, part of that, what you just described, there was a whole, like, people in the
line
UK...
dancing.
Yeah, I'm liking... Yeah. He's got a song called I Don't Need Your Rocking Chair. What? I don't know what any of these songs are.
I bet it goes like this. I don't need your rocking chair. I'm gonna sit there.
He's got a song called What You Gonna Do With a Cowboy? Jeez, Hard Luck Woman. I don't know what any of these songs are. Oh, side note. Before you moved to the US, had you ever heard of Reba?
Yes.
From what?
She's in the movie Tremors.
She is in the movie Tremors.
She plays like a survivalist, like gun-toting woman in that's my main thing about who I knew Reba was. Yeah.
I'd never heard of Reba before coming to the UK. Coming to the US, I beg your pardon.
We heard from Murad Ladil on email.
Are you stumbling over that name there?
No. Okay. Are you not going to hear that in the final edit? And they said, so I went to send you a message via the pod's Instagram as you've been instructing us to. And, there's a bit of admin in this email saying that I had to change the settings because we weren't able to accept messages from certain people, which is a little odd, but you can now.
Okay, cool.
And they said... this is their message. Okay, hear me out. An episode where the UK topic is the traitors UK and the US topic is the traitors US. The new levels of Trojan horsing you could reach in both cases. Also, both shows are taking very interesting and different takes on diverse representation. Also, I do not think they are each other's equivalents. Love you, dolls. XOXO.
Love you, dolls. Now, you and I don't really watch Traitors, do we?
No, and people are often surprised that I don't watch it because it's...
particularly US. I feel like US Traitors is very...
Yeah, because they have a lot of housewives and Bravo people on there and a lot of like reality people, but... I think we've maybe touched on this before, but my issue with it is the kind of gameplay element, and I find it a bit like, I love reality shows, but I like mine to be just women screaming at dinner rather than a game,
Yeah.
Yeah, the UK has announced they're doing, because the UK is normally regular folks instead of the reality stars like in America, so they have announced that they're doing celebrity traitors.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you with the list, the casting list, which has just come out. This is an impressive list.
Yeah.
It's very legit.
Yes.
I would say. I think it helps that it's on the BBC.
Yeah.
So that takes it up a tier. And it's doing very well.
Yeah.
And people are just very on board. Claire Balding.
Yeah. Her and Stephen Fry are the two, like, they're really legit.
Quite remarkable.
Yeah.
Lucy Beaumont. I don't really know who that is.
She's a comedian. She's very funny.
Mark Bonner, Scottish actor who's in Guilt, Apple Tree Yard, Catastrophe, and Shetland.
Yeah.
Shetland. Kat Burns, singer-songwriter nominated for 3 Brit Awards in 2022. I don't know her.
I feel like we missed her.
Alan Carr.
Yeah.
Love that.
He's gonna be really. I mean,
one really for us though is Charlotte Church.
Yeah. No, and they've labeled her a singer and activist in all of the press materials for the traitors.
She now runs a nature-based wellness retreat and educational project and is a political activist. Yes. Ruth Codd. I mean, that sounds like a fake person. Irish actress. It's really good.
Ruth Codd. That's like when you try and come up with a fake name and you're looking around the room. That's very like that, isn't it?
Yeah. Tom Daly.
Yeah.
Sure.
That with his knitting needles.
I was going to say, now a knitting entrepreneur. Sure. Tamika Empson. Actress
She's
and
from
comedian.
EastEnders.
Yeah, I don't know her.
She's funny. She'll be really, really good at it. She's got a lot of personality.
Paloma Faith.
Only love can hurt like this.
0 points.
Sir Stephen Fry. I mean, what?
What a booking.
Kate Garraway.
I
sure.
love Kate Garraway.
Celia Imrie.
Yeah. That's amazing. She was
Calendar Girls, Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, and Bridget Jones.
She was very like, her big thing that most people remember her from is Bridget Jones. She's Bridget's mum's friend. She's the one that has the Vickers and Tarts party.
Yeah.
And she was a big part of all the Victoria Wood back in the day with Victoria Wood. She's on all those sketch shows. She's really good on that. And she's also Eddie's arch nemesis PR person on AbFab.
Oh.
She's what is her character name? It's really good.
Thank you for unlocking it for me. A reference I'll actually know.
Because she's in my favorite episode, the one with Naomi Campbell. You know, where they're at that fashion awards.
Yeah.
And Naomi Campbell's being really nice, and every time they talk to her, they turn away and go, "She's being very difficult. She's being very difficult."
Joe Marler, rugby union prop who are 95
Hot.
caps. I need to look him up.
Yeah, he looks hot.
Nick Mohammed, know who he is.
Yeah.
Nico Amalana, content creator, internet prankster. Kill me.
Don't like the word prankster.
Jonathan Ross, sure. Again, quite a...
Yeah, Jonathan Ross is a big one too.
Yeah, I was saying to someone in the US, it's equivalent, having like Jonathan Ross and Alan Carr, it's the equivalent to like Gail King suddenly
Yeah.
turning up in The Traitors. And then Joe Wilkinson.
He's funny. Oh, Claudia Bing. That's
Claudia
That's
Bing.
her nemesis in AbFab.
Oh wow, Joe Marler.
Yeah,
He's
hot.
a hefty
He's a
steak,
side of beef, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my god, touch me right there.
Anyway, let's get on with it.
Yeah, although if you want to get in touch, give us a shout
Oh, yeah.
on Instagram and do email us at...
You're welcome, AmericaPodcast@gmail.com.
Please rate and review us. We love hearing from you.
Yeah,
I love hearing from you.
And we promise we'll make more episodes.
Yeah, we will. Okay. Do I look different?
Yeah, you do. You look changed.
In what way?
Old.
I am now old. I'm now in your category, in your bracket.
Honey, welcome to my box.
There you go. I'm in your box. I'm now 40 years old.
You are indeed.
Yeah. To celebrate my 40th, I went to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. So my topic today is Puerto Vallarta.
¿Dónde está el hombre?
Yeah. You went to Puerto Vallarta, not we.
Yeah,
went to Puerto
before we get
Vallarta.
into it, the floor is yours.
Oh, you want me to tell my story?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I want to say right now, straight
Yeah.
away, to interrupt, you were invited on this trip.
I sure was.
I don't want to dispel any...
No, I sure was, and I've got an update on something to do with that afterwards, which you're going to find very funny.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yes, I just before we went to Phoenix, I was looking for my documentation because I thought I might need my passport as ID for the hotel in Phoenix. And it turns out that I traced it back, and 2 weeks before that, I essentially threw my passport into the bin
Nadine phones home looking for her mislaid passport.
and lost it. And by the time, international paperwork and timings and visa reasons, I simply could not go to Puerto Vallarta for your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed here.
Because Amanda, yesterday I was getting an interview done and I gave the wrong date of birth. I gave a wrong date of birth anyway. So I'm just looking for my passport.
You'll be pleased to know
Mm-hmm.
that due to certain booking things and restrictions and rules, I now am the proud owner of a return flight to Puerto Vallarta that I will be using within the next year, and a non-refundable party boat trip, which they wouldn't let me cancel, but they said, we'll transfer you. And I said, well, I've got a ticket, so I guess at some point in the next year, I will be going alone to Puerto Vallarta and kind of recreating your birthday trip by myself.
By yourself.
And going on a booze cruise, like party boat trip by myself.
Oh my God, that boat trip. Wow, we're all very sad you could not be with us.
Yeah, it was tough, rough and tough. And then not that it was the same situation, but then the weekend after, Charlie and all the girls all went on a trip to Sitges, and I spent another weekend staring at a group of my friends all together, having like a lovely time in a hot location.
Okay, so Puerto Vallarta, off I trot. What was baffling is there were 3 separate flights, all kind of at different times, but very similar times.
Yes.
So no one was really on the same flight.
Well, who did you fly with?
By myself.
No, but what airline?
Oh, Delta.
Okay.
Because I'm a Delta girl.
Oh, so my my flight that I will be taking is on American.
Okay. Landed in Puerto Vallarta. The first thing I got to say to you is in that airport, they have all these, and I was so sad to be by myself at this point. They had all these massive billboards and posters for a resort that kind of looked like Cirque du Soleil meets something else, very CGI. But apparently it's also where The Bachelor in Paradise has been filmed before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was very excited about that.
Yeah.
And it really struck a chord with many of us because later someone on the trip was like, did you see those billboards at the airport? I was like, yes! So we get to the hotel. We were staying in a hotel called the Bellevue. Very beautiful, overlooking a church with bells. Now,
I was filled in on the... it wasn't just the view of a bell.
Oh, it was the sound of a bell. Now, in all the kind of the hotel reviews, they had talked about the sound of the bells at different times. I was like, sure, on the hour. Turns out, on the hour, every half hour, and also you can go and request to ring the bells yourself.
That's what when I saw Colin, he said, when I saw Crystal, he said, that it was... he said every time he just got used to the routine of it, someone went freestyle and there was just freestyle bells just ringing.
Yeah. It was, I will say by the final morning, not to fast forward, but you could have breakfast up on the terrace and it was a beautiful view overlooking the church. By the final morning when everyone's quite tired, there's just bells a go-go. It was something. Okay, so we're at the hotel. It's beautiful. The first night we went to Casa Kimberly.
The reason for the season.
The reason for the whole trip was revolving around Casa Kimberly. I had a vision of having my 40th birthday dinner at this hotel and restaurant because it is where it used to be owned. I believe it was built by Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Beautiful. Apparently, the whole of Puerto Vallarta essentially kind of became a tourist and very gay destination because Elizabeth Taylor started there.
Right.
And bought her house there.
Right.
So... Yeah, I just
how was the food?
The food was... I was nervous about the food because... Well, not nervous, but I wasn't expecting much.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be like a lovely setting and the food to be solid.
Yeah, you were going for the vibes, not the food.
The story, for the white diamonds, for the ghost of Elizabeth just throwing a crystal goblet at Richard. That's what I was there for. The food was great. So yeah, so there was a lot of just Elizabeth accoutrement everywhere. So,
did you feel her ghost?
I
did. Did you throw a glass at Michael?
I did. I did feel her ghost because I was seated because now we're a table of 9 because you couldn't come.
Yeah.
So I was seated at the top of the table and just over my shoulder there was a giant portrait of Liz just looking over. So that was nice.
That's nice.
So the next day, we didn't stay out too late because the next day... We had the boat trip that one day you will be doing by yourself.
I know. I'm really excited. I think that nothing is better for a solo traveler than a party boat booze cruise. It's so fun, right? Will I be with strangers?
You say that, but actually, apparently a lot of solo people do go on it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so you're going to be fine. So we had to meet at some sort of weird harbour area that looked like it'd been constructed in 1997. Like a giant rusty white sail structure. Right. And right from the word go, they're like, hey, we'll take photos throughout the whole trip. Should we get a group photo of you here? I'm like, I guess. In front of this really ugly 1997 structure.
Oh, I love that. In its heyday, do you feel like they would have gone there, Jill Dando would have gone there on holiday?
Jill Dando. Exactly. Recently constructed sail structure in Puerto Vallarta has become the place.
Yeah.
So we get on to, well, I know this from watching our beloved Emma Cruz's video. You get on a tender boat that takes you out to the main boat.
to your embarkation point.
Exactly.
We learned a lot of that from Emma Cruz.
After they'd gone through our paperwork. Other people so there were 9 of us in our crowd. There were another couple, a gay couple, a very hot, kind of hairy rugby player guy.
Oh my God, touch me right there.
With his much older partner. And then there were a trio of 3, 2 guys and a girl, kind of younger, who we believe were friends with one of the deck helps. I don't know what you would call them.
A deckhand.
Deckhand, there you go.
Deck helps.
I don't know. So really, we were taking up most of the, most of the...
Air in the room.
As always. We start sailing off. Turned out to be kind of the windiest day of the season.
Lovely, yes.
let's just say a few members of that trip got seasick. Someone in our group did vomit quite violently off the side of the boat, not from being hungover, just from the motion.
Yeah.
And then the 3 friends of the deck help, one of them the whole trip was pretty much just sitting with a wet cloth on his forehead.
Oh.
Yeah. So there was a moment when we set sail on the real rocky seas, and they're like, just so you know, there is a slight chance that no one will be allowed in the water. And we're like, we're on this from 9 a.m. or like 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm like, and it was very hot. So we managed to get to a beach. We swam in. They brought in refreshments. You could have like a beer in the beach. Lovely. We then go out on the water, and then it got clear and we could all jump in the water.
Okay, good.
There was a great moment where we all fell asleep, and the deckhand, he put on like a pup mask and then came through and played that song, shot, 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 shot. And we're like offering everyone shots, and we're like, nah. We're all just like asleep. Here's the thing, the whole trip, despite the fact we had very specific activities, I napped at pretty much every activity.
Right. Well, each activity had a stretch of lots of time within it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was get to a place and then lay down.
That night we went out for a meal. Turned out, again, it was another like 4-course endless meal of just endless things. So we're pretty wiped out that night. We did go to a place called Mr. Flamingo's.
Oh.
Now, Mr. Flamingo's was a bar. It was like being in San Junipero.
Okay.
If San Junipero Black Mirror was like, oh, a kind of gay, tropical Mexican bar.
Right.
It felt like being in a set.
Ooh, fun.
It was very fun. They played baffling music. They played
Give me the hits.
They played Tina Turner's Private Dancer, and I don't know if you've ever... No, Simply the Best. Don't know if you've ever seen that video, but it involves Tina basically facing off with a horse.
Yes.
and Tina's legs kind of mimicking the horse, kind of raring to go. And then Tina ends up on the horse, and her face is very like... So that was fun. The next day was the Gay Beach Club.
Oh, yeah.
This was, I think, maybe one of my highlights, the Gay Beach Club. A swim-up bar. I'll never get over a swim-up bar.
Yeah.
We had beds on the beach so we could go in the water. The water was perfect. Very wavy and raucous, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
And then the beach bar, you could go into a pool and swim up and have drinks. And drinks we did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Someone claimed they got stung on the penis by a jellyfish.
Ouch.
Yeah. They survived.
From the group or
From the group.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who's that? Oh, poor gal. She was the one throwing up too.
So the beach club, there is this beach club called Mantamar. Now, what was fun is as the day went on and we're having, and it was classic, you put in a card, so all day we could order drinks from wherever. And the price is, let's just say, a lot cheaper than LA.
Yeah, when we were in Phoenix.
Oh my God, those prices in Phoenix were like...
Rounds and rounds of drinks coming under $20.
Yeah, every drink was like $7.
It was amazing.
Oh my God, I was at the Greek Theatre last night.
Oh, yeah.
I ordered 2 drinks, 2 single gin and tonics. How much do you think they were?
Was it like $40?
They were about $25 each.
Oh, $50 for 2 drinks. That's fucking crazy. How was the Greek last night?
Oh, it was lovely.
Yeah, it's a great place to see something chill like that, kind of a folky.
Exactly, and it's so much easier to get to and get in and out of than the Hollywood Bowl. That night we had I would say kind of our
last hurrah.
Our meal, which was the least, let's just say this meal didn't have multiple courses. It had huge margaritas. We're like, we need one night where it's like massive margaritas and everyone's just having like a burrito.
Yeah.
So we had that, and then we went back to Mr. Flamingo's.
Oh.
Mr. Flamingo's was really also fascinating. Played all these kind of fun pop hits. But Charlie XCX wasn't played once during the vacation. They even played like a Dua Lipa album track from her flop album, Radical Optimism.
Oh my God, touch me right there.
We also went to a nightclub called Industry.
No. I heard there was a lot of cog work in Industry.
Industry was very steampunk, but Industry was also, whenever we asked anyone where to go, they're like, oh, you have to go to Industry.
And what was the Industry?
You would really like it. You would like, the Industry was music videos.
Okay.
It was basically a music video bar.
That's fun.
Very GAY late.
Oh, I love it.
And they would just play like remix songs into music videos, really good dancing. But then next door in Industry, they had a huge giant room that turned into kind of like a circuit party.
Oh.
It had everything going on. I will report back that the drinks in Puerto Vallarta were a lot less strong than they are in LA.
Okay.
Which actually I think was good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as we always say, if you're coming here as a tourist to LA,
Beware.
Do not trip yourself up with those vodka soda limes. You've got to make sure that you have like 2.
And also, don't get fooled by the sweetness of a margarita. Because
Yes.
that sweetness will mask the tequila.
And before you know it, if you've had 2 margaritas, you're like... I often think that with a margarita that I will have like 2 sips from the straw and I can feel it in my full body.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe you can drive after having one margarita in this country.
Oh, side note, when I was at the massive 40th in Scotland, my friend's wedding, after dinner, they served espresso martinis. Like, everyone just automatically got served one. And my friend, she pretty much downed hers. And then her mum was at the table and wasn't going to have hers. So she had hers. I was like, okay, you've had 2. She's like, yeah, I mean, some nights I have 4 and I'm absolutely fine. I was like,
my
I
God.
do not believe that.
That is a lie and a half.
4 espresso martinis.
You're not fine after 4 espresso martinis.
Yeah, and that final night was a wild one, which resulted in a small crowd of us stayed out quite late. Bearing in mind, we've been at the beach club all day. Stayed out quite late. I got to bed at 2 that night. I woke up at 4 in the morning with 13 missed calls from a certain member of the group who'd managed to lock themselves out and without a key.
Dear.
And then this person, my phone's on silent at night, they managed to work out if they added me to their emergency contacts, the call would actually go through.
Oh.
So I then picked it up and I was like, oh my God, are you okay? They're like, yeah, I can't get in. This is 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm at the hotel door. And I was like, wait, at check-in, we're all told that if you just punch these numbers into the door code, you get in. I was like, punch the numbers. They're like, boop, 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 boop. Like, oh, thanks. I was like, oh my God. And then the next day at breakfast with the many bells ringing, I was like, how many missed calls did you have from this member of the group? They're like, oh, 3, 9, 7.
And we already know she loves to call, even in the calmest of times. That one loves a fucking phone call.
Woo! So that was Mexico. One other thing I will say about Puerto Vallarta is the pharmacies. So I didn't buy anything at the pharmacies. If you're listening to me, customs and immigration, you can buy anything you want.
Yeah. You buy Xanax at the pharmacy, can't you?
Xanax, you can buy steroids, you can buy sleeping pills, you can buy antibiotics.
That's great.
And it's quite remarkable. So much so that even at the airport,
really?
by the boarding gates, there's another place where you can buy them. And I will say that on the way back, all the global entry machines failed. And it took me longer to get through than other members of the group who have global entry.
Very James Bond plot. Global entry has failed.
Yeah.
That feels very Bond-esque. I like
Well,
it.
shout out to our new favorite airport, also known as America's friendliest airport in Arizona, the
Sky Harbor.
the Phoenix Sky Harbor.
Sky Harbor.
Mr. Bond, you've made your way to Sky Harbor. So that was Puerto Vallarta. Any questions?
No, because I'll be going there alone.
You will be. Yeah, I don't know if I have it in me to go back anytime soon.
No, I don't think anyone's going to want to come with me.
Yeah. We also did make a quick, at Michael's insistence, we did make a trip to, there's a new hotel there called Trist.
Oh, I hate that.
That's just been opened by the billionaire gay who owns the Abbey and
Right.
Mr. MISTR, you know, all that app or whatever, that medical thing. He's opened up this zhuzhy hotel called Trist, this gay hotel.
I hate Trist.
And Trist, the opening, it was all like Matt Rogers, Kesha, very much that vibe. And we
Wasn't expecting that combo of people.
we decided to go to the rooftop bar. We go, all the lights are turned off and no one's there. So we just have a picture underneath like the Trist neon sign with no one else around.
What, was it closed?
I think the night we went, it was the Friday night and it was closed.
Trist.
So the UK equivalent of the American Mexico that is Puerto Vallarta. Thoughts?
Is it like the Costa del Sol?
Sitges.
Uh,
Obviously, Sitges is in Spain. It's not in the UK.
The equivalent was never going to be a place in the UK.
Oh no, never.
It was always going to be somewhere in Europe.
So, and it seems like Sitges is a Spanish place where gay people have kind of taken over.
Yeah.
And
also families.
And families, yeah. And I would say Puerto Vallarta is a Mexican place that gays have taken over. Thank you to Liz Taylor.
I like your earrings.
Oh, really?
Are they bigger than normal?
I don't think so. I got these in Oaxaca last year.
I think I just haven't seen you for a while, so I forgot that you have the bigger hoops. They're really nice.
Thank you. So the UK equivalent of the Mexican Puerto Vallarta is the Spanish Sitges. You're welcome.
Literally no UK or USA in those topics.
No. Also, have I ever told you about the time I went to a foam party in Sitges and was struggling in my flip-flops?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You almost drowned in the foam.
You're welcome. And we're back. I have waxed lyrical about our US-Mexican topic, which was Puerto Vallarta. UK topic. What are we doing?
We covered something very similar in an old episode, and I decided just to do a different version of it. So I will read you a little description here, and you can fill it in. This school has been described as Eton for the pop idol generation.
Wait, we've done the Brit school.
No, we haven't.
We've done Italia Conti.
We have.
But we haven't done the Brit school.
And we're not going to do that either today.
Wait, the Eton of pop idol.
The Eton for the pop idol generation.
Eton.
You're missing one. You said Italia Conti and the Brit School. You're missing one very big one.
Oh, Emma Bunton went there.
She sure did.
Oh my God, Sylvia Young.
Correct. We are discussing the Sylvia Young Theatre School. Now, I want to put you in a time and a place, and that time and a place is you and I, young tweens,
not in our 40s,
with stars in our eyes and dreams of fame and fortune. Is there a time where you wanted to attend the Sylvia Young Theatre School?
Oh my God.
It was all my dreams come true.
Oh my God.
I'd be rifling through the stage newspaper for auditions.
I remember one of my, I wouldn't even really call him a friend, but someone I went to school with, at one point he got an agent.
Oh.
Because he was in an anti-smoking ad for the that was it. He was in, and when I say he wasn't a friend, he wasn't an enemy, I just wasn't particularly close with him, but he was in a Scottish government anti-smoking ad.
Not Stinks,
not that one, but the joke was he was a smoker.
Oh.
Yeah, so anyway,
so
he
dumb.
had an agent. I was so jealous.
So yes, so for any American or other listeners that are not from the UK, Sylvia Young Theatre School is an independent school in Marble Arch, London.
Oh, I didn't know it was
England.
a Marble Arch.
And it's a specialist performing arts school named after its founder and principal, Sylvia Young, OBE.
Sylvia.
Syl. Do you think they call her Syl?
Oh my God.
So it was founded in 1972, and it was Drury Lane. And then it was Marylebone, and then it was in Westminster, and now I think it is... Oh, now it's in Westminster. Okay. The big thing about Sylvia Young, much like with Italia Conti, really all I want to do is go through this list of notable alumni. So, hang on, should I go to the full... Oh my God, there's an A to Z. In the A section, I'll read out a couple. The Appleton sisters went to Sylvia Young. And you know was it me trying to talk to you about that song that they did, Fantasy, and you were saying how you think it's one of the worst songs ever made? Remember that song?
I just remember their main solo single.
That's what I'm talking about. Fantasy, it was called. That song definitely has the edge of a All Saints Runoff, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they've really gone rock.
It's like
they're like, now that we don't have Shazney with us, we can really go rocky.
And Mel B.
Mel Blatt.
I know Mel B was white, but she had soul.
Remember when we revisited them, a lot of bad songs.
Yeah, not quite the same kind of disc collection that we thought.
Yeah.
Another one in the A's that I really like, Jodie Albert.
Who is she? She ended up doing a musical? No.
So Jodie Albert was in Girl Thing.
That's right.
The Simon Cowell's kind of ill-fated attempt to do another girl group.
Yeah.
So she was Girl Thing with the right swing, G for the girl, and T for the
She was
thing.
in Hollyoaks.
And then she was in Hollyoaks.
And then she married Kian.
She did.
Yeah.
I think she might have a lot of money. now. You know what I mean? Like, I think she
What do
might
you
be one
mean?
of, as in, like, I think she might be one of those people who,
She got rental investments.
I think like, I feel like I'm not worried about Jodie Albert's finances. For some reason, I just get the impression she's quite sensible.
Well, I also think that I think Westlife must have made a shit ton of
Yeah.
money. Although I know one of them lost it all.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Oh, she's the same age as me. Born just a couple of weeks after me. Jodie Albert, my life friend.
Who else went to Sylvia Young, please?
Okay. So we're going to go to the Bees. Oh, Melanie Blatt. She went to Sylvia Young. That must be where they met. Emma Bunton, you're right. Gemma Collins went to Sylvia.
Oh, that's interesting.
Good for her. Oh, this name is very Strictly. Matt D'Angelo. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe he might have done something bad. His name is something is ringing a bell. Letitia Dean. You want to talk about royalty?
No, what's that song again?
What?
Wait, who is Letitia Dean?
She's Sharon from EastEnders.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Sharon from EastEnders is?
No. What? Sharon Letitia Dean. I know the name Letitia Dean. If someone said Sharon from EastEnders, that doesn't mean much to me. Sharon.
It's very funny.
Why?
It just is.
Did you watch Sharon? Oh, I've seen this. Yeah, I recognize this person, but I don't know the name Sharon Watts. Fictional character. Did you watch EastEnders?
Not really.
No.
Jade Ewan.
Oh,
She's an obvious one to have gone
that
to
makes
Sylvia
sense.
Young. God, I'd have loved to have matriculated with Jade Ewan.
Matriculated. What's Jade Ewan up
Jade
to?
and Jodie Albert in the same class.
Wait, I need to look up Jade Ewan real quick. Hang on.
I will say, so far in terms of famous people, I've not seen a big name yet, and I've just spotted one further down the list.
Okay, I'm listening.
But we'll get to.
Okay. Can't find Jade Ewan on Instagram. All I can find is someone called Jade Ewan Mua, as in they're a makeup artist.
Well, that maybe she does that now.
Mummy to Roman and Jackson, Essex-based. You sure are, Jade. You sure are.
I'm just kind of casting my eye over the full list, and I think it looks like maybe the two famous people to come out of Sylvia Young are Dua Lipa and Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Nicholas Hoult in particular.
Yeah, he's an A-list, I would say an A-list actor. Did you ever watch Nosferatu?
No. Of course I did.
It's a very exhausting experience.
Yeah.
It's very dark and hard to watch because you can't see anything. And God, Nosferatu's voice. He is talking like this for the whole movie.
Oh, no, thank you.
It was very hard to watch. I was also deeply hungover when I watched it.
What had you done the night before?
It's when I went back to the UK for my visa appointment, and I went completely insane that night, and then had to wake up and get on a city bike and cycle in the freezing cold to this screening, and I just was completely out of my mind during that.
That reminds me of being very hungover watching 12 Years a Slave.
From a goof.
And as I've said many times before, I thought it was going to be like The Help.
Yeah, you wanted fun racism.
Oof, yeah, it was pretty tough.
But yeah, I was impressed with Dua Lipa going there as well. I didn't realize she went to Sylvia Young.
It makes it feel more contemporary.
Yeah, need someone. Da. Speaking of, when are we hitting that radical optimism tour?
I think it's September, I believe. I can look right now.
I've never been so unexcited about an event, but also knowing I'm going to have a good time. Does that make sense?
Oh, I've watched a few videos and clips of her. She looks gorgeous. It looks like a lovely event. My events. Oh, October 4th. Saturday, October 4th.
Oh, wow. Gosh, that is a long way away. Speaking of concerts and things that we've done, Rita Ora also went to Sylvia Young. Again, makes it feel a little bit more up to date.
Oh, yeah. We saw Rita Ora support Kylie.
We sure did.
Yeah, because Kylie really needs the support of Rita.
And Rita, I would say Rita's performing definitely songs from later in her career. It turns out that she's released a lot of music that is like lost into kind of contract wars and a lot of collaborations that she can't perform solo. Because like her first song was Hot Right Now, wasn't it? Remember that song?
Oh my God.
Like she didn't do that. Like I felt like a lot of the songs I thought of Rita Ora songs, like she didn't do How We Do... Party.
Yeah, but I feel like she's now far more like that song. She'd perform that song like everything.
Yeah.
No, everywhere.
Anywhere.
That's
the most Rita Ora based thing. Everything off. Yeah, highway, anywhere.
Something.
Maybe
That thing.
Maybe.
And not to comment on a woman's appearance, but her outfit that she was wearing, it was like a gold. I would describe it as gold knockoff Vivienne Westwood pirate.
Yeah. Yeah, we were saying she looked like she was in Pirates of the Caribbean like 8 or 9, like a one much further down the line, and she was kind of a swashbuckling kind of pirate lady.
/ Les Miserables. Like,
felt like there was something Les Miserables about it, wasn't there? I feel like maybe 90% of the people on this list have starred in Les Mis at some point as a child.
Oh.
They all feel like that. John from S Club went there. Yeah. Very good. Tamsin Hathaway. Billie Piper is also, I feel like she was the one that I was the most jealous of at the time, knowing that she was a Sylvia Young graduate.
Not wonder when she's going to win that Oscar. You know, we think it's going to happen.
We're getting close. Basically, nearly the whole cast of Hollyoaks, most of them, like, if they are not from, like, didn't go to, like, the Liverpool version of Sylvia Young, they went to...
Well, like, Will Mellor, that kind of vibe.
Yeah, although Will Mellor is not on this list, but I'm seeing a lot of names.
Natalie Casti.
The twins that played... the one that plays Tony in Hollyoaks, you know, the one that's been on it forever, and he's twins. They both went there. The Pickard twins.
The Pickard.
Lacey Turner. Also, every one of these names has like appeared on Strictly at some point as well, or I'm a Celebrity. A big one for me is Lee Ryan. I bet he was a right old nightmare to go to Sylvia Young with.
Real cheeky chappy causing trouble. Side note, I saw on Instagram Blue talking about, or Duncan from Blue in particular, talking about the time that he and the group were invited to go to a Versace fashion show. Have you heard this story?
No.
So they get the invite from Donatella. They're flown to Milan, wherever it is. They get dressed in full Versace clothes. They're put on the front row. And afterwards, they all get to meet Donatella. And Donatella's like, oh, okay, hi. Turns out she thought she was inviting Blur.
That is so good. Wait, who did you hear that from?
Duncan James. I saw a video of him talking about it.
That's really good.
Yeah. Inviting Blue instead of Blur.
I want to be bleu. Bleu. They want to be bleu. Yeah, I bet they thought it was French for blue.
Yeah. Bleu. Yeah, bleu. Italiano, bleu. Yeah, oh God.
And then Denise Van Outen. Love DVO.
Classic.
Now, I think I've talked about this before, but do you remember Denise Van Outen's single when she was in a girl group before she became famous? It's a real... I loved it. Like, as a child, I recorded it. Her and the other woman performed it on Live and Kicking, and I had just the VHS type of it because I think it was... I didn't get the, like... I was waiting for the cassette single to come out, so I would have to go and watch the, like, VHS of her performing it. What were they called? Oh, they were called Those Two Girls. Wow. Now, that song is straight from the all-woman double cassette tape that I talk about a lot that had, like, Lisa Stansfield on it. That song is very... all of those ladies mixed into one, isn't it?
Very 1990s, absolutely... like, it's like an AI version of a 1990s white woman in the UK singing a pop song.
Yes, you're so right. It's like you've gone to like ChatGPT and be like, write me a 90s female UK pop song.
Exactly.
And they just took Lisa Stansfield and like crunched it through the machine.
Okay, so we just listened back to our US equivalent of
Italia Conti,
and we came up with...
we said it was LaGuardia Performing Arts High School,
which is like the Fame School.
The Fame School,
yeah.
And then I threw some kind of shade against Sylvia Young, saying that it was lower down than Italia Conti. But now we're looking at some of these names, I feel like it's a little higher.
What about... I always see the Lee Strasberg
Institute.
Yeah, acting something. Is it that? Because it's
like
a name.
Is that for adults? That's acting.
Drama school in West Hollywood.
Okay,
so yeah, the Lee Strasberg Theatre and Film Institute, all about method acting, and it's in West Hollywood. I feel like that's pretty good because, again, Lee Strasberg, Sylvia Young, names.
Sylvia and Lee.
Yeah, and I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. I think this could be...
Okay.
Wait, should I just see?
I'm looking at the alumni.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Oh, good Lord. I mean, we're definitely doing the US equivalent being higher up. Sally Field, Alec Baldwin, Laura Dern, Chris Evans, Lady Gaga, Scarlett Johansson, Angelina Jolie, Marilyn Monroe.
Great.
Okay, great then. Okay.
Marilyn Monroe, Jodie Albert,
Jodie Albert, Barbara Streisand, Rita Ora.
Jade Ewan.
Sienna Miller went there. Okay. Well, there we go then. The UK, the US equivalent of Sylvia Young Drama School is the Lee Strasberg Theatre and Film Institute in West Hollywood.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Okay, that is us.
We're
It's
back.
lovely to be back. Please get in touch on Instagram, email us, and we'll be back very soon with another episode because I am not getting on a plane or traveling anywhere for months.
And I can't.
So great. We're here. We're queer. You're welcome.
Goodbye.
You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
Igo by Toyota sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
Marlene.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.